So I started as a call center in Safaricom.
Yeah. But what I found very interesting was that M-Pesa was launched in 2007, but you told me that this journey started like 4 years before.
So you take all your paperwork all the way to the field officer. The field officer takes the paperwork all the way to the Faulu head office. And then now the disbursement is done. And now cash in transit.
Yeah.
So we are having like 10 million coming to Thika town to a specific person.
Welcome back to the F Squared podcast, where we uncover the stories and strategies that have shaped fintech in Africa. Today's episode takes us behind the scenes of one of the most important financial innovations of our time, M-Pesa. I'm joined by Catherine Karimi Gichunge, who was deeply involved in the platform's early days and now leads Redant International. In this conversation, Catherine takes us inside the pilot program that launched M-Pesa, the challenges of recruiting agents and customers at the same time, and the critical design choices that made the platform resilient and scalable. We'll hear stories from the ground, how Safaricom's smaller size at the time became an advantage, how the agent network was built and refined, and why ideas like super agents proved pivotal. We'll also explore the big questions. Why Kenya became a mobile money market while Nigeria became a payments market? What makes M-Pesa uniquely successful? And what it would take for fintechs to build alternatives today. This is a rare look at the untold story behind M-Pesa's rise, and the lesson every founder and operator should take note of. So Catherine, I have been trying my best to get you on the show.
I know.
And I finally did. I think this is going to be really good. So before we get started, I think just tell us a bit about yourself, what you're doing right now, what your business is.
Okay.
And then we can dive into the M-Pesa story that's
the M-Pesa story. Yeah. Thank you for having me. My name's Catherine Karimi Gichunge. I always give my 3 names so that people are able to find me, probably on LinkedIn or other socials.
Yeah.
I call myself the biggest payment specialist in Africa. I'm passionate about mobile money. And then now my passion has grown into mobile banking, mobile savings, and all that pertains fintech.
Yeah.
So I'm very passionate about mobile money because it's the core of everything else. I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, and I'm the CEO of Redant International. Yeah. Redant International is a company that helps fintechs all the way from regulatory, getting the licenses for them, for all fintechs, whether PSP, IMT, IMT is money remittance, so it's MRP. And then we also do DCPs, MFB, microfinance bank.
Yeah.
So we are like the OS for fintechs.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll come to us, you look for Catherine or Redant when you're starting your business in Kenya. So we help you set up your business. We are able to get you the licenses. So that's Redant. And I steer a team of consultants. So we have consultants in strategy, we have consultants in regulatory, legal, finance, because I can't work alone. So, but my journey is more on mobile money. Yeah. Starting with M-Pesa, moving on to, after M-Pesa, I went into Money Master Nigeria, Lagos, PSB. It's called Money Master PSB. And then from Nigeria, I helped Cellulant, Nigeria, to get their license. And that was one of my first clients. I was also the consultant for EFINA, Enhancing Financial Innovation in Agency Banking. It's powered by DFID and I think Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So I'm also a consultant as I run the company. So I've consulted for EFINA. That's Enhancing Financial Innovation and Access. And then that's Nigeria. And then I did Fortis Mobile Money in Abuja. And then I came back home and I was the head of mobile money for Tech Mahindra. So Airtel Money. So you can see my journey is from M-Pesa all the way to... So I started as a as a call center in Safaricom.
Yeah.
So I'll come back to that and why I'm very passionate about the mobile money, the mobile and then the money.
Yeah.
So from Nigeria, then I came back and I was working for Tech Mahindra as the head of technical. So I worked for the entire Airtel Money Africa, and then I moved from Tech Mahindra, and then I went into Easy Money. Easy Money was the first RFID, radio frequency identification. I remember Michael Joseph back then, I like jargon. When you just say RFID and I leave everybody. So radio frequency identification, and it's still one of my most good times that describe me. RFID, Easy Money it's still on, and I was the CEO. So I've been CEO of Easy Money Kenya, and then I went on to work for an exciting project. Now, I've worked for Chris Kirubi, the late, rest his soul. I was the head of Lightbulb. Now, Lightbulb intention was to synchronize the entire ecosystem in Kenya and give Kenyans an alternative to M-Pesa. So I was the CEO of Lightbulb, I think, until 2017. And then I left to do my own consultancy. So I focus now on Redant. And we went on to do the Kacha. So Kacha mobile money, the first ever licensed mobile money in Ethiopia. That's us. So we built it from scratch, Kacha. I forgot, before then, we had Hassa. Hassa means money now, I think in Arabic, that's Sudan. So I worked for the Bank of Khartoum in Sudan and launched Hassa. But then there was political, whatever, it didn't get to scale. So Kacha, Sudan, Post.net, Zambia, there also, and lately we've done a lot of with Tanzania. So T-Pesa. So we've drafted the entire strategy document for Tanzania Pesa for Tanzania Telecoms. So for Tanzania Telecoms, they reached out so that we're able to draw for them the mobile money strategy for mobile money for Tanzania. And we did that. That's last year. So that's Catherine. Apart from that,
that's a lot.
I help payment service providers. So if you look at SasaPay, depending on where the stage they're at. So SasaPay reached out to Redant when they've just been licensed. So sometimes you're licensed and then you don't have the proper implementation and deployment plan. Rolling out a mobile money license, especially for a PSP that is e-money, E for electronic value. Is quite complicated. So I was called in to draw the implementation and the deployment plan. Sometimes we go into tech so that we align the systems at the back, both the trust and the electronic value ecosystems. So SasaPay, if you hear of Fingo, I don't know if I should mention all of them, but I think we are out of the NDA. But we've processed over 3 e-money licenses that are currently operating in Kenya. And then we've also processed PSPs. That's plain without electronic money issuance. Now, when you talk about electronic money issuance, it's a different PSP. They're all PSPs. Even the switches, they are payment service providers. But then you find there's e-money. Those are the ones that can issue. Issue.
And I think we'll get to that.
We'll get to that,
Because,
so that's Catherine. So I've done a lot in terms of regulatory landscape and now implementing and end to end. So that's me.
And let's go back to the early days, right? I think when we met for coffee and you told me how you joined as a call center agent at Safaricom. But what I found very interesting was that M-Pesa was launched in 2007. But you told me that this journey started like 4 years before.
Correct.
2003. And I'd like to understand what was happening between 2003 and 2007. And like, to start with, like the genesis of M-Pesa. As an idea, as a concept. Let's go to that.
Okay. Now, the best what I can refer you to read at least is an article that was written by Olga Morosky. Way back then. But I'll tell you the story. So M-Pesa started way back then. It was built by a company called Sagentia. In the UK, Cambridge. Although it's a Vodafone and a DFID funded pilot project, it was created, the actual tech was created by Sagentia team. Now, back here in Kenya, there was Nick Hughes, who is the Vodafone, and then there was a project lead called Susie Loney. So Susie was the one now running the project here in Nairobi. So that's how I got to join M-Pesa way back then. Now, it started as not as a send money. It was a microfinance disbursement project. So you remember back then, people would be prayed for. If you apply for a loan, if you're in Thika, you'd have to travel to Nairobi or Thika town to meet a field officer who will give you your cash. So if you had applied for 30,000, then you'll have to go and pick your 30,000 cash. And while you're walking with it around KCB in town, somebody prays for you to double your money, right? So you lose the money. So Nick Hughes and come up with a proposal to run something on the mobile. By then there was an advent of the mobile phone. But then it was the, what do you call them? The smaller, not the smartphones, the analog ones. So the issue that was being resolved, the problem that was being solved was microfinance disbursements. And that's how they partnered with Faulu. Faulu now would issue money this way. So there are women groups. So the women groups, you have to belong to a group. So if you belong to a group, then you're able to apply and you guarantee each other. So I'd guarantee you, you guarantee me. So that's how the disbursement would happen. But then there's a field officer. Okay? So you take all your paperwork all the way to the field officer. The field officer takes the paperwork all the way to the Faulu head office. And then now the disbursement is done. And now, cash in transit. So we are having like 10 million coming to Thika town to a specific person. And you remember that's when we had a lot of theft and all that, cash in transit and guns and everything. You don't hear that much nowadays because everything is going electronic. So then the solution was deliver this money to the lady who is selling tomatoes, second-hand clothes. Deliver this money to that lady, deliver this cash to this person without having cash in transit. So the initial...
And this was happening in 03, these discussions were happening in 03 or 04 there.
Before 2003. Because 2003 is, we had the application running. Yeah, I was in the call center then.
So this problem was being identified for. This was like 2001, 2000.
Exactly.
And that was before like the new government had taken over.
Correct.
And there was a period of a lot of theft. Carjacking. Now I see the context.
It gets better. The story gets juicier because you'll have people carrying a SIM card. So the pilot project, I don't know if I can jump into that. So I joined from the call center. So I'm in the call center and Susie Loney is passing there and I tell her, if you need anyone, just call me. So sometimes it's good to speak. Sometimes the only thing you have is a voice. So Susie remembers me and comes for me with Alida Fazal. Alida Fazal actually went on to launch Afghanistan, M-Pesa. So those are the legends that I know that are never talked about. So people like Susie Loney.
This was, what was the name of that Afghani telecom called?
Roshan, yes, Roshan.
Pretty good job there.
Yes. Some of our consultants actually read and they work with Roshan. So we have a very good team. So we now started the journey. And remember, a phone was a luxury. So there are no phones. There is no, people have never heard of M-Pesa. So we were literally giving free M-Pesa and free phones. So
this is now like you've come up with an agreement with Faulu.
Susie has already done the project manager and she's tied up with Faulu and she's tied up with NCBA. Then a very small bank. I think they had two branches. One was at the Hilton in town and the other one was at Westlands on Woodville, somewhere there.
And so at this point, so maybe this is around when? Let's put it at a point in time. This
is 2003.
So this is 2003.
Yeah.
You've already seen that there's value in this problem of people getting loans. The way we solve it is by sending money electronically.
Exactly.
And I think the insight there was that given airtime is already being traded.
Airtime was being traded as value.
As value,
yes.
Then you can you can actually send money.
Yes.
With the same.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So by this time, 2003, is there any tech that exists?
Yes. Sagenti had already built.
And had they built because of this, or they had just built it as like a side project?
They built purposely for Vodafone because Vodafone had gotten funding. Remember, it was a project for NICUs for Vodafone.
Yes.
Social disbursement or something like that. I don't have the actual word for it, but it was aimed at Vodafone had won the award. So they were awarded, I think, over 18 million pounds to come to Africa and just do something to help.
Yeah.
So the money has come in. The Vodafone has got the award. They've already appointed Sagentia. Sagentia has created this particular platform that enables, at that point, Faulu now, this is the flow. Faulu now had to, instead of carrying all the cash, they just bank the cash.
At CBA.
And that was the advent, of trust. So the money would be banked and then moved through a control account, it would move into the Faulu head office. So that was the advent of the three accounts, the working capital account, the float and the
trust account.
And the trust. And no, the working capital, float and commission.
Okay.
But then if you look at it now, it's the same thing we are using for C2B, B2C, where you're doing the disbursements, business to customer.
Yeah.
So that the B2C was coined back then. The B2C is when now you're able to disperse funds. And what Faulu needed was to be able to send the 12 women groups. So the starting was 12 women groups. They started with Nairobi, Mathare, and then they started also with Thika. Thika, we had one. Superior Phone. That needs to be mentioned. Superior Phone, I think Rahab.
Yeah.
And the first agent in Thika, the one I worked with, was called James. So they had to be taught. So that was the first time ever an agent was coined.
Recruiting agents back in 2003.
Yes.
Okay.
So there had to be an agent. Remember, there are things that I'm touching on. There had to be a trust account, to hold the real cash.
Yeah.
And then there has to be the ecosystem, the platform now, the tech that is still beating people blue-black.
Yeah.
So what the Sagentia team did was build very, very good platform.
Yeah.
I know over time re-engineering has happened and all that, but the core was the control account. So the control needed to mirror. Remember, there's no regulation at that point. So the e-money, for the first time, e-money was created.
And so what this means is simply, you put, let's say, $1 million bob.
You put $1 million bob in NCBA.
And it creates similar
this system,
value.
exactly. You've created, you become a De La Rue of sorts.
Exactly.
You're building, there's real money that can buy you bread.
Yeah.
But then there's a flow.
Yeah.
So this ecosystem had to be built. So this ecosystem was built by Sagentia originally. And this to balance those, there's a trust account balanced by the control account. And that's one of the missing points. When we're even doing the implementation, sometimes I've had to crash full platforms. Because if you don't have the control account in this particular ecosystem and you've just taken an airtime disbursement platform, and then it doesn't work. So it's like fixing a square peg, you know how they say it, to a round hole. So you need to crash the entire platform and be, but let's go back. So now Faulu is given this application. Now remember, there were no APIs. So the CSV file needs to be imported from NCBA. There was no internet banking. So what happens? The hits and the misses on this other side, you're crediting, well, come to the agency cycle now, how this progresses into the agency business. And this is what we train on, because we run an academy too. So now Faulu, for the first time, was able to see their millions sitting in their interface. And then the code was different. There was a field officer. Remember, we used the same process. So the field officer now would receive, if the field officer in Mathare, the total received was 50 million, they would receive 50 million in their terminal. So there was a SIM card called Field Officer Terminal. Remember, there is no app. So we need to take our mind back to SIM card for 64K. Not 128.
So let's say, and I want to understand this. So let's say CBA gets 200 million. That's roughly $1.5 million for the audience. So there's 2 million that gets into 200 million that gets into CBA. Now, On Faulu's side, they know like this maybe needs to be given to 10 field officers.
Exactly.
Right? So just for the sake of simple math, everyone is getting 20 million.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So everyone, all the field agents have
would
a
receive.
terminal.
Yes.
And then they receive now that e-value of 20 million.
Exactly, on their terminal.
And then another layer is that now there's individuals as
there's a group now.
Okay.
Now inside the group, there's a treasurer. So call that SIM card T. Okay. Then the customer. So call that one C. Because remember, in every group there's a treasurer. So when you look at the way they did it, they tied the whole rollout to the mindset and the psychology of the way Faulu would work with the
build trust.
To build trust.
Yeah.
So then the money would get into the customers' phones directly. So what do? So that's where Catherine came in. So I had to switch on to my Swahili.
And so
and
now
go to
this lady, what's the name of this
Alida.
lady? Is it Alida or
Alida.
the one who came to you at customer care?
Susie Loni. Susie is at the head office, making sure that Sagentia, Vodafone, CBA, all these things are tied. Yes, she was a fantastic project
and
manager.
So now they need you because like, okay, now that this lady in Madare has received her 20,000 shillings.
She's never seen a phone.
Yeah.
Remember?
So she's never seen a phone.
She didn't know how to use it.
And she's like, what am I going to do with this?
Where is my money?
It is.
Yeah. So what we did, we went ahead and we'd go with a set of phones. So we'd have the set of phones, customer. So we'd tell them, I don't know if I can Swahili. We'd tell them, utabonyeza hapa. Now the prowess from call center, the importance of call center. I knew mulika mwizi. Everything is always arranged. There's no hurry. So I would tell them, bonyeza hiyo kindude cha katikati, ndio uweze kwenda upate mpaka, ubonyeze mpaka ufike kwa M-Pesa.
And so it's
so like, press the middle button until you find, and then you scroll down using this arrow. And we are using the small phones. So I scroll on the SIM toolkit. Now remember, I skipped something. The phones that now we are giving these women, the 12 women groups, are from Gemalto, right? So they've been configured on 120K space. So they are special SIM cards. They're actually purple. So they are special SIM cards that are containing the menu, because that menu is heavy. If you look at the treasurer's phone, the treasurer is also a customer. So his menu had the treasurer menu, which collections. Now we are talking about collections. And then also the customer menu, because he's also a customer. So he needs to be able to withdraw and also buy airtime. So the setup, now we'd go ahead and now show the women how to use the phone. Now, how do you use Safaricom STK? You need airtime. So before you go to the field, you have to show them how to call 100 to activate the MNO bit. And that's when we train, we talk about
it's like real education.
It's real education. And you're speaking your best Swahili. Or sometimes you switch to
your mother
Kikuyu or mother tongue. So we set up the phones. And then during that session is when now that we'll give them free M-Pesa. Can you imagine? That was free M-Pesa. So we give them free M-Pesa and free airtime. Because we wanted, Sagentia and the team, they wanted to see, because it's a pilot, and this is the importance of a pilot. They wanted to see how the transactions are going. The transactions cannot work if the mobile network operator connection is not working. So we needed to make sure they have airtime. So that it doesn't stop there. Remember, the connectivity is from the gateway. And remember, now we have the SAT gateway from Gemalto. So the transaction is coming from the M-Pesa platform through the SIM card Gemalto into the Safaricom network. And then the customer now is able to do a transaction. So when that was ready, now we were able to disburse their loans. Now, where will they get? They've gotten
so
their money.
You have to tell head office that,
yes,
let's say you're in Thika.
Yes.
That there's this checklist.
Yes.
We've done ABC.
Yeah.
Customer 1, network done.
Yes.
SIM card.
All activated.
Whatever. Now you can send the money.
Yeah. So the group in Mathare activated. Now the Henry, there was a guy working for Faulu on this project called Henry. You now do the disbursement to the FO, finance field officer, and the field officer now would be able to deliver the monies to the phones through a disbursement via the phone. You see now, all the money has left Nairobi all the way to Thika Makongeni seamlessly. Beautiful, brilliant. Now, the payment of the loans and how do they get the money? So now this particular name comes up, the agent.
So the field officer now sends a now that's the way we do M-Pesa now.
Exactly. Send money, B2C.
Yeah.
It's a disbursement.
So now this lady, for the first time, receives a message.
Yes. You've received 30,000.
30,000 shillings. So there must be some kind of like, okay, now I've gotten money.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with this SMS? Had you trained them?
We had trained the agents already.
Okay.
And we had already told them exactly where to go and get the money.
Okay.
So you'll go to this shop. It's called Superior Phone in Thika. And that's where you're going to be given your money. Now, you'll press this, you'll see withdraw. And this is where remember we've also translated the language to Swahili.
Yeah.
So now James is also trained. Now, to engage the agents, you're also given free airtime, free float.
Yeah.
Because now we start the chicken and egg. We start the liquidity story.
So he's giving them free cash.
James now has an agent phone. So how many SIM cards now? Treasurer SIM card, customer SIM card, field officer SIM card, and now agent SIM card. So this now is now playing out. So now for the first time, remember we saw the trust account, the trust bank, trust account, control account in the platform. You have the platform. Now you have the agent and you have the treasurer, and now the agent has come up. So where did agents come from? So James has been trained. Now the agent already has some float, because what would happen is that they need cash to give out. So when this lady comes for their 30,000, they need to get there.
And
30,000.
For that, was it like in the conceptual documents that, the likes of, the Vodacom guys had done, Vodafone rather, was it in the conceptual documents that we need an agent?
It was all mapped out.
Yeah.
It was very well mapped out.
So
we even had the booklets for the agents. Yeah.
And this is before
the manuals were done.
Someone sat and said, the way you do this is that you get people on the ground.
Yes.
Who can now give cash out.
Yeah. There's a lot of planning that went into that, because if you look at even the manuals that were done, the SIM cards, the menus and all that. So all this was already
and what was in it for the FID and the people who sponsored this thing? Why did this solving this problem matter to them?
They're called Department for International Development. Their aim is to just make sure that things like financial inclusion are covered. They're trying to impact change in developing countries and all that. But I don't have their current vision and mission. But that's what their aim is. For Africa, for example, is alleviating poverty.
And did you need any kind of government approvals at this stage?
At that point, there was no. Susie was of course chasing that with, I think, Michael Joseph, because we were housed at Safaricom back then. There was regulation happening, but not like nobody understood how money can fly from one phone to the other. It looked like.
I think it's important.
Rocket science.
Why that matters is because, like, sometimes when these innovations are so early, the best thing is to just let them work because you don't even know what you're regulating.
Exactly.
Exactly. You just come and ruin everything.
Yes.
So as long as there's no harm being done,
correct.
Like just let people do that.
CBK is quite good with monitoring because from my experience, I've seen them there are some fintechs that come to us and say, we'd like to defend ourselves and we'd like to explain what we're doing to the central bank. Would you like to come and do that for us? And when you look at what they're doing a good job. You'll find them doing table banking, which is something that is, if you go to downtown, for example, let me deviate a bit, you'll find women having over even 4 million on the table, 8 million on the table. That's money outside the regulation. And CBK wants this to happen. They want all this money regulated. They're able to see it moving in a better fashion than the old way. So they sometimes will call you. If you're doing some business that you don't think requires regulation, they'll definitely come and tell you, how can we help you get regulated? Yeah, so I've seen that happen. They are really keen on that and ensuring that
so back
that
to
happens.
back to
our agent, James. Yes, yeah. So now we have an agent. So let's say Catherine has gotten, or you've got Samora has gotten is 30,000. So you go to the agent shop. So what happens is, for the first time, there was the cash withdrawal use case, where now it's opposite of the accounting that we know. So you give through the process, your electronic value that you received from your field officer now moves from your phone into the agent's float account. Now I'll introduce the accounts. As a customer, when you're created in the system, because we created the customers on the system, you get an account that is mobile money account. You can have multi accounts, even for insurance, if you like. But this account you get is a customer account. And this customer account, remember, you have to be active on the mobile network operator. Same with the agent. So for the first time now, the agent has got 2 accounts. James said 2 accounts. The float account and the commission account. We'll come to, I know you're itching to talk about super agents and all, and aggregated stores. We'll come to that. Right. So the agency has 2 floats in the beginning. So what does that tell you? The hierarchy. And that hierarchy has got the head office. So there's a head office, and then the stores. So at this point, we are using the superior phone head office. At the head office, you have different accounts. You have the working capital, float, and commission. This is important. Very, very important in where we are today. So there is the working capital, float, and commission. Working capital, float, commission. Working is for tidy up. Float is the one that if you have a Kawangware. So we had a Dhika shop. So the Dhika shop would get disbursements from this float account at the head office. And move the money. So the 20 million, now we are at the agent shop. So the agent probably had 500,000. So the Dhika shop got 100,000. So that's dispersed through the agency hierarchy, the head office. That's why you see there's working, float, and commission. Because the agent is a business. They need to do business. So the money...
Why do you need working? Maybe I understand float, I understand commission.
Yeah.
The working capital part... just explain that.
Tidy up. I'm coming to that. This is a business, right? What's the psychology of our business people? You own a shop in town. You need to tidy up. But I'm coming to that, how it processes the commissions and how it tidies up into the system. But let me explain the shop now. So you are at the shop and you need that 30,000. So that 30,000, you push it through a business withdrawal use case to the agent. Once you move it to the agent, what happens? The agent's float moves up by 30,000 and you have 0. Okay, so what do you need? So the agent goes into their cash box and gives you 30,000. At that point, many people get confused because of the electronic value. So how do you balance? Okay, if you look at it, the electronic value is still within the ecosystem. So there's still 30,000 in that particular electronic value. So then there is still 30,000 in the trust. So the ecosystems are balanced. So now you've gotten your money, you go and buy your tomatoes or newspapers. The businesses in Dhika is newspapers, tomatoes, second-hand clothes, and all that. And food business. So you've gotten your 30,000 and you've gone and done your business. Every week, you had to come back to the agent. So if you're supposed to pay the loan of 10,000 that week and you've sold your 15,000, so you come with 15,000, give it back to the agent. Through which use case now we are introducing the second use case. The first one was the third, registration. You are registered as a customer. Then now we have withdrawn the money. There was send money where you received the money. But then now we are at you've withdrawn and now you're depositing so that you can pay your loan. So that was the agent model at that point. It's called a single agency.
Can you tell us about the commissions?
Yeah.
Because, when you withdraw money, there's a commission.
There's a commission.
Right?
Yes.
And then, so that 30,000, it's not exactly 30,000.
It's not 30,000. Yes. So if you're withdrawing 30,000, of course, there's a commission. At that point, if the commission now goes into, currently, it goes into the M-Pesa. Let's use M-Pesa because we have other e-value systems nowadays. So it goes into the M-Pesa commission account. Okay. Now remember, there is this circle of e-money, and the M-Pesa commission account is also inside there. And I'll come to withdrawal. Right now, we've talked about creation of the electronic value into the. Remember, we put how much did we put? 20 million. Now the 20 million has been distributed. There is an agency head office. Okay. The float account moved through Make a Checker, checked fraud, moved to Kawangware, Thika, and all that. And now people have come to the agent shop. Remember, there's a commission account, and they've done cash in, cash out. Okay, so at that point, every transaction is gaining commission for the agent. There's registration commission, withdrawal commission, deposit commission. So that commission is automated in the platform. And these are the processes that have helped M-Pesa stay at the top up to now. Because until you automate these processes, then you'll never be able to do e-money system. So the commission now moves into the head office commission account. Remember, there is the agent float account and commission. Now all the shops, it consolidates and moves to the head office. Okay. Once it's at the head office, then what happens? It automatically moves to the working capital. Remember, you asked for working capital. And once it's moved there, and this is the secret, this is how the business people of Kenya adopted to the M-Pesa system. And I've stuck on it because it works. They can see their money when they put in 20 million. They can see it on the system. There's a head office view, and the money keeps moving. So James, at back then in 2003, was able to see.
And this working capital is basically, this is the money I've made.
This is the money I've made. Or it could be money, it's two-way. You remember when the money comes from, when you bank your money in the trust as NCBA, it hits the control account. Remember, there is a control ecosystem, control account at the top. That's missing in most of the ecosystems that I've seen that are trying to run mobile money. And that's why you're hearing a lot of fraud happening. Because there is the control account is supposed to balance the trust. So that means there's no money leaking. So the control account at that point goes into negative. And what happens? It issues to the agents. Same way, we'll come to the current. We are still in 2003, where we were using CSV files. So you get a CSV file via email. Luckily, there was email. If there was no email, you'd have to walk to the bank to get the spreadsheet and key it. So it comes, the CSV file is loaded into the system. Of course, there are matched and unmatched entries that need to be reconciled. So you'd know this is going to Simba Telecoms because of the shortcode. So we'll talk about that. So all agents are coded in the system. So now, then the money now moves from the control. Remember, control has got negative 20 million, correct? Are we balanced? Here it's negative 20 million. NCBA is plus 20 million. Okay. Now we've issued 20 million. Control is still negative. But then the 20 million now is at
the agent.
Simba, for example, at the agent store. So the agent now, it lands at control working capital. It's the tidy up account. Imagine if the money moves into the float and it's accessible by your workers and you have no control. So what happens at the head office, the way Sagentia configured it, is it's in such a way that then the head of the owner, you remember your shops are in Kawangware, Thika, Kisumu. You can't see them. But then you're able to say, today, we're going to move from the working capital, let's trade with 1 million. So the 19 million still stays in the working capital. Remember, even when the commission was paid, it was moved to the working capital. And then from that account, you're able to send an instruction to plow back into the float or move it out into your bank account.
I think that's a very useful insight. It's a way of just managing your business in a better way, right?
Correct.
And even if you think about it technically, the float is what you actually use on a day-to-day basis, right?
Correct.
And you say, like, listen, today, and the thing with float, there's also an element of fraud.
Correct.
Right?
Always. I can tell you. Yeah.
And so for you, you're saying, listen, I want this business to just operate on 2 million today.
Correct.
Right? So let me keep 5
Let me
million
keep 5 today,
capital, right?
And it's make a check,
And if I see that this thing is getting more active, then I can throw in more float.
Correct.
So it was like and I think that's something that many people don't actually, at least those who are not in the ecosystem,
yes,
don't understand about the control, the working capital, the float.
Exactly.
And just the need to reconcile. It's actually a need to reconcile, but also a need to give people the ability to manage their business, give them the autonomy of their business.
Correct. Yes, that's what plays in terms of success or not in mobile money. And that's why I keep saying mobile money. I'll come to mobile banking, I'll come to mobile payments, I'll come to mobile savings. Then the elephant now is, remember, you've just gone into, we call it the clockwise movement, where you have created electronic value. Okay? Now this value has just been created. So how does this agent get their commissions if they want it in the bank? You've got to destroy this value. So that's what we call the business withdrawal of funds. And when I'm doing my vendor analysis, if I'm acquiring a platform for someone who is doing e-money, what we ask for, just one question: show me the business withdrawal of funds. That's always missing. And
so let's make this tangible. So using just, let's say, like the 30,000 use case.
Correct.
Right? So by this time, someone has come and done a withdrawal, right? And let's say, for the sake of just whatever, that the commission here is 1,000.
Good. Right? I like this.
For the sake of just simplicity, the commission here is 1,000.
Yeah.
So on the agent's side, he's sitting, and we won't get into the details of float, whatever, but he's sitting on 30K. Of which 1,000 is his money. Like this is the revenue he has earned.
Correct.
And so he needs to go to Safaricom and say, listen, I want my 1,000 shillings, right? In fact, I want it cash, right? I don't want this e-value, whatever. Right? I want it cash.
Yeah.
So now Safaricom or M-Pesa, let's call it M-Pesa, has to go back and say, well, all this is sitting in the e-value ecosystem, right? And so a transaction has to occur in which we're actually removing this 1,000 from the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And so that includes some kind of authorizations where we can go to the bank and say, take this 1,000 out, and this control account has a matching entry.
Exactly. How do we do that? That's the biggest nightmare for most of the tech.
I think that's where
everybody is having a problem. And this is where now we need to empower everybody on the process flow. Startups need process flows. So when that 30,000, even let's look even at not even an agent. An agent I'll talk about agent commission, and then I'll talk about someone like Kenya Power. Kenya Power today probably has received 15 million from Kenyans. How do they get their cash? From the ecosystem. And make sure that in real time, everything balances. So the commission that has been earned, remember, it's sitting in the commission account of the Kawangware shop. So the flow is, and this is where you have to work, salespeople, finance, and tech. You can't do it alone. So the commission now rolls up. So there's a command on the system. Remember, there's also KRA, taxation. How do you tax? All right. Otherwise, KRA will go to Safaricom. Have you ever had them? Never. So the roll up happens. So the money goes to remember that account we haven't talked about? The commission account for the head office. So all the commissions for all the agents collects at the commission account will come to the aggregated model. So it goes into the commission head office. If it's a single agency, it goes to the head office commission account. And then it's automated. Before we do a request, automate real request to be paid. Where does the money land? Into the first square, the working capital. And then what does the agent do at the head office? You're the owner. What do? You initiate something called business withdrawal of funds. Now, what happens is that, it triggers, and then the finance, it's so beautifully done. Sargente did a beautiful job. The finance person would see, Samora Communications has requested for 30,000. of their commission to be paid. He wants his money in cash. Now remember, this thing is that's why I'm saying we have to be careful when you're building these platforms. Remember when we were creating Samora Communications in the ecosystem, that agent, their bank account details were captured. So there is ABSA or Barclays or whatever bank account that is indicated. And your bank account for Samora Communications is in the system, of course, grayed out to avoid fraud.
Yeah.
Because if I change, the money will go where? Yeah. Samora will withdraw, the money will go to Catherine, for example. So when you initiate that, what happens in the ecosystem? The ecosystem is going less 30. So the trigger now sends to the finance at Safaricom and says, or M-Pesa or any other, we can say any other e-money system, and says, Samora is removing 30,000 from the electronic value ecosystem. Now, what is happening? Remember, the trust has got. So what it does is that it triggers the notification, so that now NCBA can release 30K to your bank, Samora's bank account. Now, remember this ecosystem still...
And is NCBA now making the payment to the agent's bank account?
Directly. The trust has to go down.
Wow, so that's a lot of transactions. Now, if you think of the scale now...
Exactly. That's why it's now fully automated. If you trigger your reconciliations, I'm coming to the utility payments. So when people are building this platform, it's not a joke. It's something that needs to be looked at. Very robust payment system. You can't say I'm building it. There are people who've built it. Sometimes it's better to acquire.
And that's why...
It will take you 10 years.
Even for like when people look at, let's say, NCBA and say, we want the trust account in us, like there's so much work behind this.
It's trillions. You're running trillions of money, of shillings, yes. So now look at the ecosystem. And this one has gone down 30. There is 30. Is it balanced? No. So there has to be feedback again through APIs to tell this ecosystem, loose, control account. So remember, control was negative, right? So plus 30,000, what happens? Balanced. That's how it's supposed to work. And that's why I'm saying everything runs on mobile money, the e-value, and the flow of funds. And that's what central bank wants you to do. And for you to be able to execute the same. And that's what was incorporated from Faulu days. So James was able to see. So that single agency hierarchy and the configuration is what has built the success of M-Pesa to date.
And so this that was actually quite a brilliant breakdown. And I think anyone listening to this will now understand the depth of execution you need to kind of build this.
Correct.
But remember, we're still at the pilot project.
Yes,
right?
we are piloting. It's not even send money home.
So after those first withdrawals, like you're looking for feedback from these ladies and saying, so what do you think about these payments? Did it go well? What went wrong? What didn't go wrong? Ultimately, they've been saved a lot of money.
Correct.
Because otherwise they would have needed to travel quite a long distance to actually get their cash. So they've been saved money because the money now is coming to a local shop that's not far from them.
Correct.
The agent has made some money and he's like, okay, this is not bad. If this thing can keep coming, I'll be very happy.
The agent was very happy. Superior Phone, was one of the biggest.
And Safaricom has seen that this thing works. Vodafone, Sagenti have seen that actually this thing works. So what's now the journey? Why does this thing need to take 4 years? Like, what kind of traits and whatever are you figuring out?
Remember, it was a microfinance system for disbursement. So what happens? The importance of pilot. They started understanding stored value. So that's another thing, stored value. If you look at your phone, you have some M-Pesa. That's stored value. If you look at anyone else, I have stored value in my phone.
And so these are the ladies.
So what happened? Stored value. Stored value is everything. And even if you look
I'm sorry for cutting you. I think it's such an interesting. I guess the point is, for this person, and this is back in 03 or even earlier, right?
Yeah, SDK.
The idea of like money sitting in my phone is alien to me.
Completely.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to develop comfort with like this stored value in your phone.
And I always tell people the informal sector is the best to even pilot with. There's one of the most spectacular one was he used to sell Farmer's Choice. He was a retailer for Farmer's Choice, and he discovered stored value. And because of phone theft at that time, what they would do is they would leave the phone. Remember, there's another agent up here at Mamangina Street, right? So we've started building an agency network. So they discovered that I can actually travel from Thika to Nairobi with just my SIM card.
Like
so
I even
they would leave the phone at home.
SIM card on my
so they carry the SIM card. And when they get to the forward mobile, they'll borrow a phone, put the SIM card, do a withdrawal of their money. Remove the SIM card, carry the SIM card. Nobody's going to steal your SIM card. So they started storing value, and Sagentia started noticing the stored value. And then they started sending to each other.
And who are these? This is recruited. Is it just
these are the women in the village. The small the one you call MSMEs. It's not even medium. It's the informal sector.
Like how many
it was 12. We had a group of, was it 8? There are 12 women groups, each comprising, I think there were 20. They were not big. The pilot group was not so big.
So maybe like 600
And it was,
people.
Again, are you seeing the cleverness of Safaricom and Vodafone? It's near where you can monitor. So a leader and us, and so they could go to Madare, they could go to Thika, very short distances, to be able to monitor in case there's anything, in case the phone needs to be changed and all that. So they started carrying the SIM cards, they started storing, they started sending to each other.
And by this time, so let's say you come to Nairobi as one of those ladies, you're moving from Thika to Nairobi, which for the audience is a distance of what, 80K?
Yeah,
80K
80 shillings, yes.
Yeah. So you come here. How do you know the agent there has M-Pesa?
They know. They already knew.
So
We've trained. Training was.
There's an agent here.
Oh yes. Okay. They knew. The Madare would come to Mamangina, and the others would come to Thika, Makongeni. It was a very controlled one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy Sagentia just starts seeing like, we built this as a microfinance disbursement platform, but user behavior is showing us that number one, for a number of reasons, people want to keep their money in their wallet.
Yes, stored value. And then they started sending.
They want to send money to each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's logical. Like if I see the value of this 10K in my phone,
correct,
why shouldn't you see the value of 10K?
Exactly.
So let me send it to you. It's like I've sent money.
So they started sending within themselves. Now, then Susie, one time I'm sitting next to Susie at Safaricom, and she asked me, how do you send money home? And I told her, I wait for someone who is going home, or that was the way of sending money. Or I go to post office and I send money. And if you put a send money order, the other times people would put money in the envelopes. I don't know. That tells you how old I am at this point. Because we would put in envelopes. Even poster, they would open and get out the money. If you send with speed post then. So you had to do a money order. Or a telegraphic money order. That was the fastest. And I tell Susie, so Susie sits down, and then you remember the jingle and all that, send money home. And we start closing the pilot because they've realized they've got enough. They've seen it's actually, the idea is now to send money home. You remember it was send money home. And that's when they had the advert where the guy was sending money to the mom, and the mom would go to the agent, and the agent would cash out, and they're in the village. So that was a send money home.
And at this point, and I want to put myself in the shoes of these guys at Safaricom. Ultimately the disbursement use case is interesting, but you've just done $80 million investment in this thing.
18 million pounds.
18 million pounds.
DFID, yes.
So there's only so much you can, get from this kind of like disbursement, right?
Exactly.
You need something that has a national use case where everyone is.
Exactly.
So in this pilot period, it's in the back of your minds like, this is interesting, but we need a much bigger addressable market.
Yes.
And therefore, that's why this send money is such a light bulb moment for them.
Correct.
It's like we can now go back to our boards or our investors and everyone and say like, we found a way to make tons of money in this market using this product.
I don't even think they looked at it that way because
maybe it's me.
Because like, I think Michael Joseph gave us 500,000 users. It was I wasn't in the board. I was the person actioning the phone. I was at the action level. The SIM cards, the Gimalto, the operationalization of that. So I don't think they thought about it that way in terms of money. You know, when you're looking for impact, they actually didn't think it would scale to that level. But one thing that I think is never spoken about is having the locals deploy. It was the advent of the globetrotter, the internet. And I remember nobody looked at M-Pesa that way because already they had airtime and you could sambaza, there was the airtime share. So nobody looked at, even I remember when we went for you saw the picture that you talked about. If you look at my pictures when we are deploying M-Pesa, we are using nothing fancy. So it wasn't really fancied at that time. It's having that, Susie was from London. I'm from Meru. So I knew there was a problem in us sending money. So carrying that vision was quite easy for me. And when I went for the road shows, we'd ride on Globetrotter road shows. If you look at the road shows we do, we'd ride on the existing Safaricom products, the big ones like the internet. It was the advent of the internet, and we had all these Globetrotters. And you'll see we have balloons and all that. There was support, yes, but then it was foreign. It was a foreign service.
Safaricom, they were still treating it like as a pilot.
Yes, I was the only Kenyan then. Then they started now hiring other people. I was the only Kenyan. I was working with Susie. My job was to ensure that Susie has got all these, the phones are set up and all that, and the testing is done, the UATs. Eventually we built a Kenyan team. Yeah, but it wasn't something that the pilot was Alida Fazal who left for Roshan. Then there's Susie, and then there's the entire tech team from Sagentia. So the tech was not here.
So like the bulk of the groundwork was you.
There was me, and then there was, I think, Gerald. Yeah, just a few people that were working with Susie before I joined her. But I joined her from the call center, and it was just the two of us. And I would remember I would have like 90 phones to set up, because we needed phones pointing to the dev or so the groundwork was basically.
And so now you've done the pilot. It takes whatever time it needs to take, because you need to be thorough when you're running this. And then now it's clear that there's a use case, but for send money home. But then now you there's a lot of work ahead of you. For this thing to actually be forget about viable business, just a viable product.
Yes.
Right? Number one, you have to recruit new customers.
Correct.
You have to kind of tell them, because all this time, fine, these people in the pilot have been talking with each other, and so there's a bit of word of mouth going on, but you have to spread the word like in a much bigger way. But importantly, you have to recruit agents who, unlike these guys who are in the pilot, it's not intuitive for them what the value of being an M-Pesa. They were.
They loved the product.
Yeah, but they didn't know about it.
They didn't know about what happened was, I remember we had limited SIM cards. So if you needed to if you lose your SIM card, it would be hard to do a SIM replacement. So whenever they lost that SIM card, they would come all the way to Nairobi to see me to do a SIM swap. Now, unfortunately, we had to close down the pilot. So we could only do very minimal SIM replacements at that point, because it's just BAP SIMs. So we couldn't do the SIM replacement for them. So that's when they really, really loved keeping that SIM card. It was like precious to them. But you see now the team can see, and the resolutions at the board levels can see that we need to close the pilot, because the pilot was microfinance disbursement and move to send money home. Even the logo was actually different.
So that's the point. So these agents who are in the pilot, they know this, they love it, they want to continue. Like this thing has earned them money, right? But anyone who's not part of that group, any new agent who's not part of that group, also needs to sit down with them and take them through the same education you did these guys.
Yes.
So once a board resolution has been made that we are doing send money, like that's when now the real hard work starts.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so just walk us through like what are the
Agency.
key things that needed to happen at that time, building the agency and all that kind of stuff.
So we needed agents and we needed customers. Okay.
And that's those chicken and egg problems, right?
Now, lucky, we were just like running wild. We were like wild people. We had this amazing product, and I would tell everyone, this is going to be big. I would tell everyone this is, so they would call me Mama Pesa. So I would tell everyone in the call center, this is going to be so big. And we started running with it. Initially, I started at a call center, but then I moved to 234, which was M-Pesa call center. And then now that's when Susie moved me to, I was actually very lucky. I never did any interviews. I just moved to head office and to sit with Susie. Of course, the accent was really hard for me. and I was used to, thank you for calling, and doing things the call center way. Yeah. And here I am supposed to now wake up and think the Susie way. She's from Lana. She's a top-notch project manager. So I'm really trained by the best. And now we have to recruit agents. Number one is optimization of the system. We had to learn how the system works. So the Sargentia team is the one that did the tech, the tech training. So there has to be integrations and all that. There's a whole tech Kenyan team that did that. Tony et al. There are many people that were now involved. Then there has to be a sales team, the Geralds and all that. And then us, the core now, we are sitting with Susie and ensuring that, remember we are doing agency recruitment. Now, agent documentation.
Before you go there, one question I have, because the sales team, how is it structured? Because you see, you have to do two things. You have to recruit customers and you have to recruit agents.
Correct.
So was there like a head of sales and then agent recruitment and customer recruitment?
No.
Or were those two separate functions?
I remember the recruitment came for tech, Kenyan tech, Kenyan BDM, Kenyan tech, James Merethi, the BD, Josek. Then Judy was for training. Now, the initial thing was to actually get more team. So Susie needed to get more Kenyan team. I was the only one. So we recruited HR training. So we started now building proper organogram.
Building the M-Pesa
a proper
team.
organogram, M-Pesa team. And you can see it. It was very lean. It was lightweight because the entire technical team was sitting in Sargentia.
Yeah.
There was no handover yet for this. But there was, of course, the integration team. I can't remember everyone. Yeah. But there was a whole Safaricom team now. And then there was also risk and compliance. And then, at that point, Susie now is trying to set up the legal regulatory banking, making sure that we open. NCBA still runs as our trust. Because that was a sole trust. So that all that is happening at the same time. My focus was on the agency and customers. So this is what we did for the agents. Now remember, our target was who? Remember, Safaricom had a wealth of dealers. But at that time, the ugali, I don't know if you know ugali.
Of course I do.
The ugali on the table for residue from airtime. Was crazy.
Yeah,
there was no way a Safaricom dealer was going to start doing this M-Pesa thing.
And just for the audience, simply what it is that those days, when you sold a Safaricom SIM card, the money was in like some residual income.
Yes.
Whenever this guy tops up airtime,
you get something.
You make like 5% or something. Or something, regardless of the figures.
That's why I need you.
So for them, they were like, my main business is to sell Safaricom SIM cards.
Correct.
Like everything else is a distraction.
Yes.
Every new customer
Correct.
is like my pension. This is what's going to take my kids to university.
Correct.
And I don't care about anything else.
It was so good. So the people that came, in fact, one of the earliest, and I must commend Sitoyo. Sitoyo was the first convert, Lopokoit. He was running Chevron then. And Chevron was one of our first agents in Kenya. Chevron, G4S also. Now at launch, you'll be surprised. And then there was Maranga, one agent who believed. You'll always have one or two believers. And then Crescent, Kimathi, those were the initial agents. Less than 5 believed in us. So those were the early believers. At launch, we didn't even have up to 40 agents. I think we had 35. And none of them, remember, there is a process where we have to train agents to move float. Do you remember there is a CSV file?
Yeah.
Now you have to go and convince, let's take Kimathi. Sitoya would know how to do that. This is a new agent. They've just deposited. You've told them there's a new business. So the first thing we did was set up a training room. And this is a necessity for all fintechs.
Yeah.
There's a training room, and this training room has computers. So then you are able to show. So we would invite all the potential business people and agents and take them through. Now, what we had was test phones. I keep insisting, anyone I've worked with, you must have test phones. So these phones are pointing to the training server. Don't forget, we also have top image, Jennifer Barasa's team. I'll come to that. This is what puts everything together. So we have the phones. So there's a phone, we've labeled probably Nelson Mandela, Wangari Maathai. These are customers. It was fun. We even had Johnny Depp. For our London people. We had Johnny Depp. We had Mother Wangari Maathai, Nelson Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah. So now we had to show them. Kwame Nkrumah sent money to, but then we had to showcase. So you have how many phones? Test phones. Now you remember why I had to sit down and do the conversion to the training server? So you had to have a phone, customer, sending to customers. Those are two phones on SDK. Then you have the head office, dummy. Then you have the agency store. So 4 phones. Now, sometimes you needed another agent phone so that you're able to show. So we were able to show even on the handset level, apart from the head office level. So we'd show them, now you have put in 1 million on the training server. And we show them that the money has been loaded onto your head office account. So remember, we are training them also on the web.
Yeah.
So this, let's say Salim, he has joined and he's training. So we take them through.
How long would the training last?
It would take a whole morning session or a whole afternoon session. So I would train that, and my colleagues also would. And
there's still training about like even how to, because our books now, the transaction books.
Yes, we are coming to the logbooks. Logbooks would come in at the contract signing.
Okay.
There was the training, the onboarding. So we would now train them on the web and show them that you've deposited 1 million and here is your 1 million, to give confidence. So that's how we give confidence. Now you can see your 1 million and you log in on the M-Pesa system, but as Samora Communications. And you see Samora Communications. So we have all these tests accounts
set up.
And these test accounts are matching the Samora Communications phone, head office terminal. So we'd be able to move the money from the head office to the stores. And we show you now the 1 million, 500 has gone to Kawangware, 500 has gone to Kisumu or Thika. Now, then we take the phones for the customers and we tell you now, deposit. So I had coins. Susie had given us coins. I think we have some of those. I should put them for sale. Make a lot of money. So we had coins. So the coins sent 10, 100, 200. So you give the customer. So we showcase cash deposit. So you didn't
leave anything for
there was no. Yes, we took everything seriously, even the coins. So you'd first play the video of the DFID and how we are doing, and we show Rahab showing the pilot project was shot. There was a video to show now how the mobile money would move. And then now we would have the coins, and we give you the coins and we tell you now, give Nelson Mandela. So Nelson gives you 100, you give him 100. Then it shows. So they're like, Then after that, they're not interested in all that story. They're interested in their commission. Then you show them now how the money they've made would be paid into their system, and they have custody of the system. This is the problem. Everybody says we have equal opportunity. Why is M-Pesa running ahead? Because their systems work. So a businessman wants to see the money move, and they want to see the payment at the end of the day. So that's how we trained. So we would have morning session, we scheduled morning session, and we call. It was hard work. And then you call again and make sure the phones are set up, they are topped up. Remember, you have 90 Mulika phones, analog phones. And if they don't have airtime, what happens? It's not like now when you just say, give me Wi-Fi. If they shut down, you have to start again topping up or calling even customer care to start opening the lines. And you're in front of agents. Trust is lost. So that's how we set up the training. Now, after that, there was the documentation. So there is the documentation you have for you to become an agent. These are the requirements. And you needed 3 shops.
And by this time, you had it's the story is that there was a letter of no objection from the central.
Correct. That was the time of Bitang and Demo. Yeah.
And very forward-thinking people, and this was primarily negotiated through NCBA because NCBA was the entity interfacing.
This is my product. Yes.
Right? So they get this non-objection for you. So for the KYC for the agent. Is it the central bank who told you this is what we need, or it was just your own volition?
I think it came from Sue. I didn't find out, but then we had to provide proper KYC. There was AML. Central bank always asks this AML, and even the training for AML. So since then we've been training on anti-money laundering. So I think that was tied up by the team at the top.
And so the bank must have said, this is how
we are following basically the banking rules for you to open a bank agency. So that was done, and we had the documentation that this is what you need to bring. Now, we used simple tools, Excel. So we had a tracker for when the agent brings in an Excel, agent documentation. Tick. So you tick, 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 tick. Then here at the end, we have very smart people. They would put the formula for 30 days, it turns red. So we know this agent has not been contacted and all that. Simple tools. You actually don't need to be expensive. So, from the pilot, we moved now to training and ensuring that the agents are recruited. So if you bring everything, then there was training again we'll do another system training on how to bank. Now, remember there was a different banking slip. And remember, agents are coded. If you go to any agent, there's a code. So the agency code was, and to talk about this, the independence we had when building M-Pesa, I started giving the codes myself. And I gave 5. What happens when you give 5? They end. That's why you're seeing store numbers now are 6. Those are the things that happened. Get it.
So you never thought there'd be that many?
I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not thinking we'll get to all these agents, Exactly. I knew it would be big, but I never thought that numbers could literally end. Infinity. I didn't think like a coder, not a coder. So now we've trained, and the people who came first were people like Pep Intermediaries who grew up to be the Pesa Points and all that. Fred. So we would train them every day. Sometimes during Ramadan, we would get nobody or one person. And it's Ramadan, people are hungry. They're not even listening to you. So you have this person who is even after 1 hour, he says, okay, bye, I've gone. So you're left no one to train. But then you keep going. So what we did was ride on the road shows. So there were road shows in every town. So what we'd do, we'd actually take matatu. So you'd go to tea room. Safaricom would give us the cabs. But you'd go to tea room. Now, before even the launch, we've not got to launch, right? So we're now setting up the agents and all that. At launch, we only had 35 that were not even active. So what we did, because we've already trained them on how to move the money. I remember taking my own laptop. And now you have your Globetrotter, you have internet. So I went to Muranga Road. You're taking matatu or even a cab. Safaricom will give you a cab, but then it's easier. So I had to walk from Muranga. I've finished setting up one head office. We are launching tomorrow. We need float. And then go to Haile Selassie on foot. Wow. Set up another agent. So people don't know these things. They say it's organic growth. It's not
3 kilometer, 4 kilometer walk.
Correct. And you have your laptop.
And the thing I've even picked from this is that, when you're talking about hyperscaling or, blitzscaling, like you guys were very deliberate. Like you're not going to skip a step, right?
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes I think a lot of people skip steps to show rapid growth.
Correct.
But then the wheels start falling off.
Correct.
Once you hit a specific.
Correct. Yeah. I always say M-Pesa was built like Range Rover, like strong, you know. So then the other thing was, now the missing link, and that not talked about, is the top image. I don't know if you've ever heard of top image in relation.
Them,
yes.
But I don't know intuitively what they did in that whole.
This was core. Remember, before you launch, there has to be somebody. You've recruited Crescent here. Crescent has got Naivasha shops. Who's going to do that? In comes Jennifer Barasa, Andrew Wakayo, and the team. And Jennifer ensured that there was a person, even I think in Garissa and Wajir. And these people, they've grown now. They are MDs of big companies. And you'd had to take boda bike to go and set up that shop. So Top Image are setting up on the ground, okay?
And
they are teaching people about Start Key, yes. Yeah. So some agents that onboarded. So now we are gaining traction. We've trained maybe, and the thing is,
you outsourced agent recruitment.
Correct.
To Top Image.
Trade development, yes.
Okay.
She was the best. She's the best. So trade development was done this way. So trade development was like foot soldiers sent ahead of us. So there was Paris, me and Walter at the office now with Susie now. Remember, we are growing now. So Walter flew to Kisumu so that he can do the Busia route. Paris went to Mombasa. I went to Naivasha and Nakuru. So Top Image have already gone. Remember, there was a start key. You had to receive a start key. Let me go through that. For you to activate your SIM card as a customer, even now you receive a start key. Now we had to go to every agent and train the agents. So we've recruited Kimathi Crescent, for example. Samora Communications is in Nairobi, for example. Now you have outlets where Nakuru, Naivasha. So those outlets need to be branded M-Pesa. So I'll talk about the marketing at the end. They have to be branded. They have to look like M-Pesa before we launch. And we are approaching launch. Now, the Top Image team, we trained them, the 40, and armed them with phones. How many phones? Customer phone, unregistered customer phone, so that they can show how to register a customer. Then, once they register that customer, you have to remove the menu so that it's fresh for the next shop. Are you seeing the back end? Yeah? You have to remove that old serial number so that it's fresh, and then the customer can receive again, so they can reuse it for training and training. So that's what Top Image, Andrew and Jennifer were managing. Now, before then,
like tech and sales have to work so closely together.
Correct. Yes. So that was interesting. That's a bit and pieces people miss. They say we are piloted and we've done. And what we did was, now for us as the Safaricom team was to get our VPN laptops. You get into a matatu to Naivasha. You stop in Naivasha, you visit all the agents in coordination with Top Image. We've trained this shop, the location is here, go. There was no Google Maps. Google Maps was our
big tree.
Our ancestors directing you, move this way. So I covered Naivasha and Nakuru and Gilgil. You finish, you get into that track with maize, Gilgil. You alight at Gilgil, then you go through the shops again, and you tell them, I'm coming to, you ask them, have you been trained? Do you know how to get a start key?
And what was the what was the reception? What were people telling you? Because, some weird guys from Safaricom are coming and telling me this.
I think the name Safaricom.
It helped.
The name Safaricom helped.
Because you're selling a very complex at the time. Now 20 plus years later, this is so intuitive to us. But you can imagine, as you said, there's not even Google Maps then, right? So if you're coming to me as a shopkeeper and you're telling me about electronic transfer, registering someone, I'm just like...
I had been chased before. So I think resilience and consistency. There's one of the biggest agents chased me in Westlands. They told me, Catherine, you and your visions and your Chinese products. Later, they came and said, please give me agency. It was so lucrative at that point. Yeah. And then the other thing we were selling was you register and you get commission. So they could literally see the money. And then, we were solving a problem, a big problem.
And they understood.
So you're in Gilgil, you finished, you are going to Nakuru, then you go to all the shops, training, even the ones that are potential. You're telling them there's this thing that we're launching and it's going to be big and people will be able to send money and now you need to be ready because we are launching and this is what will happen. So do you know how to get a start key and all that, and then branding and all that? So that happened. Now, Mombasa is when I was also chased.
And this was a very flat structure.
Correct.
The team that's manning the agent. It's a flat structure.
Flat.
It's like mercenaries. Everyone go do their job.
Yes.
We
meet in town. We meet in Nairobi.
It's very mission oriented.
Yeah.
Because it's hard work.
It was very hard work.
It's back-breaking work.
Yeah. You're with, one time I was sandwiched and I was not this big. So I was sandwiched between maize and maize. Have you been to Matatu for Gilgil? It's farmers.
Yeah.
So you're squashed between 2 sacks of maize or cabbage, and you're going to Gilgil. And I was, you don't look at that because you're on a mission. It's like you're on a mission. And we did that and then launch. Even the launch day, when you see me with the Honorable Kimunya.
When was the launch date?
March 2007. It was 6. You see me with Kimunya. We had just finished activation that morning. We were opening a shop at Tutali House. Yeah. And the launch was, where was the launch? Was it at Grand?
So at Grand Regency.
Grand Regency, yes, with Michael Yer then. Yeah. So, yes, you're activating that same morning. It was like madness. Like you've got to be really crazy.
And now once you launch, what was the volumes like in the first?
There were no volumes. I said we had only 35. It was dry.
No, but in terms of customers, were you seeing growth?
What would happen, what helped us was the road shows.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example of the Nakuru one. The Nakuru one is where we would go. This was the strategy we used. If you remember, there were no expensive polo shirts. Everyone who I work with, I always tell them I don't want to see polo shirts. They're expensive.
Just plain.
They are just, you're new, you don't have money. This is investor money. Get the Chinese billboards. Like Safaricom made everybody a walking billboard. M-Pesa, and it's green and red. It's really not nice, the nicest colors you'd wear. But everybody slept with Tuma Pesa kwa simu. Everyone. Tuma Pesa kwa simu. Everyone was having that t-shirt. So what they did, Rita got all these gunia, like sacks of t-shirts. We didn't give t-shirts. I see people giving. You don't. When you're in business, you don't give.
Open an account and give you.
Register. That's what we did in Nakuru. I have a money bag. So what we did, we set up agents in-house. So we would have we would have in-house M-Pesa agents because we are the best ambassadors. So if there is a road show, we do our money bags. Register. I give you a pen. Okay, you register. I give you a pen. But what do they want? We like, you want to look like me. I have a hat. I have a hat. I have a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt. So you want to look like Safaricom, and Safaricom is a big name. So you register, I give you a pen. You top up, I give you a t-shirt. You put 500, I give you a hat. But I think also the way I talk was a big deal. So I think I also had a lot of grace. So we would give them, by the end of the day, we have nothing in the sack and we have money. So because we are doing the roadshow near the care center, you see the structure also. Safaricom was quite structured. So there's a whole care center at Safaricom. And that's where we would deposit the cash. And we're already riding with the Safaricom bus, the Safaricom Advantage. Sometimes Airtel would come and help us.
And in startups, there's this thing called do things that don't scale, right? Like do very manual tasks.
Correct.
That are not really tech driven.
Correct.
Because these are the things that now will really get you to understand the customers, understand the business, and you have to do that stuff before now the tech takes over.
Correct.
And I think in those first years, even like when you look at those old reports, the growth was not phenomenal. It was good, but it wasn't phenomenal, right? And you're still building, that kind of
I had one. I had one shop that was really plush, offering luxury in Nairobi services, and that was one of the early takers. But then what happened was the informal sector took the M-Pesa seriously than the elites, than the middle class. So it was looked down like a mwananchi product, a local informal sector product. And that's the truth. And those ones embraced it because they were able. I remember in Nakuru, day one, one of the people who approached us, this old man had a child in Embu. Nakuru and Embu is far. And he said, can I send to Embu? And what we do those days was we actually knew the agent in Embu who can give money. So we called the Embu, and the child was able to get their money from Embu. That was a believer there and then. So it got to a point where the house help would tell you, pay me in my phone because I need to send money to Kakamega. There are so many stories that, like when we first started, it started picking. Then again, let's not forget that Safaricom care centers were also agents. So you could go to a Safaricom shop in Moi Avenue or go to another Safaricom shop.
Imagine those shops were doing a lot of the initial businesses because of the trust aspect.
So during Christmas, now this is where people talk about liquidity management, and we don't deep dive. So this is where we started seeing a problem with liquidity management. And then now Safaricom making sure that agents have 3 agents shops in 3 different locations. If you look at Kitengela, what's happening in Kitengela is people are selling their goods and all that, and they're coming with cash. But what's happening in Kakamega? Ketia Drapers, for example, was one of our agents, or even PEP, intermediaries, or the Safaricom shop. I was there. Money ran out.
And so there's like internal remittance dynamics within.
Correct. Yes. You just said it right. And that's where we call liquidity management. The shop you're having a shop in Kitengela that's having 3 million, and the shop in Kisumu doing cash outs. And that's now the advent of super agents.
And just to understand, before we go to super agents, in Kitengela, the Maasai community, they sell cows for cash.
Yes.
Even they sell land for cash.
Yeah, for cash.
And so they want to go and put it somewhere.
Correct.
So if you're an agent in Kitengela, you're dealing with cash-ins. So you're liquid. I mean, you've got tons of cash, but you've got a float poor problem, right? You've got a float problem.
Float poor.
What's making people in Kisumu withdraw?
Because all the Western people, their relatives are in Nairobi.
Okay.
So they are sending money to Kisumu.
Got it.
So it's a cash out area.
Okay.
Generally, that's our dynamics as a country.
And that goes into like a lot of like Nairobi, how it's set up. Nairobi, if you think about it, a lot of immigration into Nairobi comes from Western Kenya.
Western Kenya,
right?
Yeah.
And then the other communities are probably just adjacent. But in terms of the people who are really moving into Nairobi,
correct,
they're coming from Western Kenya.
Exactly. Muranga people go for lunch at home and come back in the evening. So the money would be sent to Kisumu, to Western Kenya, to Kakamega. So that area was known to be cash poor. So even when we were recruiting, if we ask the agent, are you from Western Kenya? We tell them, no problem, you don't have to do a deposit. Because you don't need electronic value. It will come tomorrow. Just have cash at hand. So it got to that point where we were able to balance the electronic value and understand which areas were cash poor, which areas were e-money poor. Because of the cash in, cash out.
So now talk to me about the super agent, how that came about.
So initially, people didn't understand the agent model. I remember they call me their friends now. They didn't even want to sign up. Remember, the agents were having a good time with the residue. Then all of a sudden, you are able to get 80 shillings per registration. Okay? So commissions went up to 2 million per month. Are you getting? Now, what happened, what is not said, because I can say.
Yeah.
So what is not said is that during this time, agency business has boomed, the way you see Uber.
Booming.
So agency was a big deal.
Everyone was quitting.
Everyone wanted to do M-Pesa.
Yeah.
But the way they did, it was lucrative because Kenyans were not registered. If you look at it now, we are 50 million plus. We are to over 20 million people. There was no registration. Okay? So what did they do? You are in Nairobi. You are an agent. You're already earning your 2 million in registrations. What stops you from going to Kisii?
Yeah.
So Samora goes to Kisii, finds Ali, for example, has a shop. They are friends. He tells Ali, I can actually make you an agent. So what does Samora do? He recruits Ali, but the shop is not, it's not yours. You have your 3 shops in Nairobi. You're a single agency. Remember, head of working capital float commission. So all commission from all the shops comes to you. Okay? So what happened? The Ali agrees. But do you tell Safaricom it's Ali's shop? No. So you go, you come to head office, you pick the application forms, you fill us, Samora Communications, Kisii. So you bring all the documents and it's running now fast. It's running so fast. There's even no time to structure so much. By the time now we change so that now you can go and check. Remember, you're desperate to grow and you've gotten, Samora has brought in 10 more shops.
So you're happy?
We were so happy. Now the problem is you start receiving every end of the month. Now remember, commission is for Kisii goes to your coffer. And remember the withdrawal? This is why I'm very keen on the platform. The platform has to work together with the business. It's the business.
Yeah.
So the money for Ali in Kisii is going where? To Samora's commission account.
Yeah.
What is Samora doing? Withdrawing it to his bank account. So Ali,
like, I haven't
but
even been
Ali
paid.
is the one who is really, if you look, so Ali comes very early in the morning from Kisii through the night bus. These are stories that are never told. And we ask him, what's your agent? What's your name, Ali? And what's your store name? What do you sell? Sometimes Samora is a pharmacy, but then you find Ali is selling eggs. But the shop is called Samora Communications Pharmacy. But he's selling eggs and beans, you know. So this is, have you ever done a withdrawal and it's telling you Nairobi and you're in Kakamega, for example. Yeah. So Ali comes and says, hey, there's a problem. So actually the first ever super agent, aggregated model, we'll come to super agent. We're going to aggregator because aggregator now talks about the, takes us to the super agent. So it's all based on commission payments. It's not about the name. And I go into board, I go to board meeting and people are talking about platinum and it doesn't matter. It's how you pay the commissions to the people, to the distribution network.
So it had got nothing to do with float management. Nothing.
It has float management, yes.
Yeah. But that was not
it's the commission payment. So Ali, this story of Ali now, I'm just giving Ali as an example. Ali is sitting in Kisii. Ali has one shop. Samora is smart enough. He has a registered limited liability company. He meets all the requirements for Safaricom agent, M-Pesa agent requirements. Will Ali meet them in Kisii with his shop? He's never even registered sole proprietor.
There's an AML issue also.
Correct. Now, Safaricom does not change the structure. And that's they go about it very well. They don't remove Samora and they don't remove Ali and they don't close. But they make sure Ali gets his fair share of
the business.
Comes in aggregator model.
So meet the market where it is.
Now, it lets Samora grow our distribution network. So Samora gets how many shops? 2,000 shops.
Yeah.
Are they his? No. So the structure that we started with initially changes from working capital, float, commission, to, those are 3 boxes, to 5 boxes. Working capital, float, commission receivables. Commission, the one for yours, commission receivables and commission payables. Now, your first shop at Kawangware was float and commission. It stays that way. All right? So at that point is when you hear people talking about single agency, independent stores versus aggregated stores. So that gives Samora the right to do business, but do business well.
So
now,
just so what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll just focus on the commission because that's the only thing that's changing.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is the total commission. This is how much that all my stores, these 2,000 stores, have generated.
Correct.
This is how much is owed to me.
Correct.
And this is how much I owe to all my other agents.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And now at the guy in Kisii, he's like, at the end of the month, let's just say, roughly, it doesn't have to be the end of the month, but at any point.
Yeah.
Like on this specific date, this is how much I'm owed.
Yes.
Right?
They would see.
Got it.
Now, the structure changes. Aggregated model changes. It changes from float and commission. So those stores remain float and commission because 100% will go into your commission account. Now, for the aggregated stores, it changes from, it now starts looking like your head office. So there is the working capital for Ali. We crash Ali's roles. And when you remove the role of a agency store and we give him aggregated store role. You see why we need to train? So the aggregated store role gives you the 3 accounts now: working capital, float, and commission. So this gives Ali independence. Now, whenever he does a transaction, only 20% goes to the original of you, 20% of his commission. So if he's done 10,000, how much is that? 2,000 goes to Samora.
Yeah.
8,000 goes to commission receivables. Upon issuance of that payment at the end of the month, where does the money for Ali go? It goes to his working capital account. And then he can move it through his terminal.
Yeah.
That's when you noticed 2 phones at the aggregated stores because the menu was again too big. So then the agent, you can send someone, if you're Ali, to go and change money for you. So the money, you never touch the 8,000 anymore. You only take your rightful share.
Yeah.
What happened? We had business people. And when I tell people it's not hard to grow a distribution network, we currently have business people. They don't have a shop.
They just recruit.
But they run over 20,000 outlets, earning them 2,000 a month. This is the distribution network. Now, if you go to Westlands, for example, you'll find a super agent. Where does that come in? Now, Ali is in Kisii, correct? I hope you're
I'm following. Yeah.
Ali is in Kisii. He's just received his 8,000. His commission. So now, have we given him independence? So that's an aggregated store. And Samora, who was a single agency store, head office, now becomes a aggregated head office. If you look at the coding back end now, we have single agency and aggregated store that enables independent stores as well as aggregated stores. Now, if you look at a hospital chain, for example, it becomes a single agency because all the commissions are going into one pot. But when you look at someone like Samora now, who has shops that he doesn't own, but manages. So you can see the role of store management moves from Safaricom to Samora. Now, Samora has obligations. he gets a tripartite agreement. If you're a single agency, you're signing one contract. But if so you can see the legal, the tech. Tech now, you can see the roles and the accounts. Remember, if I choose the role of a customer, which accounts do I get as a customer? What's your menu? You get a menu that says send money, withdraw, buy a time. But if I choose agency, have you looked at an agent phone? What when you choose the role of an agency store, what do you get? You get with deposit, all those other agency register. The first thing is register, deposit. It's a totally different menu. And that's the back-end configuration of the roles and the accounts that you get. If I choose aggregated head office, how many accounts do I get? 5. If I choose agency head office, I get 3. Because then it knows, the system needs to know. So you can see how we need to tie up the entire business. It's not just about getting the license,
And which areas did you see like exceptional takeoff? Of course, we've spoken about like, Western Kenya and the withdrawal requirements. Which other unique stories come about? Like we saw so much growth here and maybe we didn't even expect to see such growth there.
The informal settlements. Yes. Those were the best. Informal settlements and like Nyeri had a very good uptake. Nakuru was massive for us. Nairobi is the informal settlements. I remember, like I told you, the luxury store. And that's the clientele. The clientele are coming for high-end services. And guess who comes? Because there's only one M-Pesa shop in that mall. They come with their gumboots from the slum, from the informal settlement. And the whole store is mad. And they call me and say, we want to help you, but this service is not for us. So at that point, we had to lose the whole agency. All right. So the informal settlements and the rural areas. Nairobi, we had to do like I would go to Nakuru and come back with 200 registrations per day. Nyeri the same. Nairobi, I go to Nairobi activation and I get 30.
And it's basically financial services. At the end of the day, you have to be solving a need. Now here in Nairobi, or at the time, there's already an ATM network, and I'm speaking here.
Correct. Yeah.
So there's already an ATM network. The need for like sending money around is not as big unless you have relatives up country. But for a good chunk of Nairobi, not a good there's a chunk of Nairobi where you're not even sending money back home.
You're not sending money home.
Your money is just for you and it's shopping and all that kind of stuff.
Your parents live around.
Exactly. And so the infrastructure is already there for you to and a lot of people, even some of my friends, it took time to actually onboard to M-Pesa, right?
The other one, the biggest actually was Isli. Isli was massive. The highest number of agents came from Isli.
And what was driving that?
They understood. They understood the flow of funds.
And was it mostly a store value thing, or they were actually sending money?
They were sending money. So for the first time, they would be able to move money from probably Isli to Mandera, Wajir, Garissa. The roads were really bad then. So it became very, very big. And the network had just reached there. So it became massive, even within the Isli, even within themselves. But I think that's a community that really understands the flow of funds.
Exactly.
So the informal sector, most of the people in the cities were pushed by their house helps, their gardeners. Put for me my money in M-Pesa.
Any other interesting story about the growth? Because now I think we're at the point now we can talk about M-Pesa, the business, and over time, it's become $1 billion plus per year revenue business. It's basically the fabric of society now in terms of like commerce and everything.
Correct.
On a personal level, I think it's just recently I had to withdraw money for something, but for the last few years, I've barely
Gone to the ATM.
Yeah, like
you don't remember your PIN though.
day to day use, whether it's paying
M-Pesa.
for Uber or it's paying for something, it's just M-Pesa, right? And it's become so ubiquitous. Like I don't, cash is just not something I use, right? But at the same time, fintechs are saying, so over that time they've built APIs now for integrating fintechs.
Correct.
They've done all that stuff.
Correct.
And there's a section of society saying that, listen, this thing has become too big to fail, right?
Yeah.
Fintechs are always trying left, right, and center. I think you've given us such a good background in terms of like what it actually takes. There's a trust aspect of Safaricom, but there's also so much work that goes behind the scenes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like, how do you even start competing with M-Pesa?
You don't. you give an alternative.
Yeah.
You don't compete with M-Pesa. I have a saying in my office that says the fact that Ronaldo is good has never stopped Messi from, I don't know if you like football, but now there are newbies in the football field.
It shows how age
But the fact that M-Pesa is so good has never stopped other players. And I'm glad that CBK has licensed, I think, 7 more. Yeah, there's Airtel, FinServe, ViewTech, Jumbo, Freenet, Tanda. But the question is, what's your implementation plan? What I've seen is that the platform, does it match even what Sagentia built 18 years, 20 years, 25 years ago? How do our platforms look like?
I think there's a context there. So I think those guys raised 18 million pounds.
Correct.
Right? And I think it just shows the context here, if you're to apply it to a startup, it's the equivalent of having like an 18 million pound seed round. And by the way, back then, 18 million pounds probably now is like 50, 60 million pounds, like if you consider inflation and all that. So let's say $60 million. Like you have to raise like a $60 million seed round and do like a 4-year pilot.
No.
Before, it's almost the equivalent.
I know there is the money aspect, but if you look at, if you're a fintech, I'm a believer in giving Kenyans an alternative.
Yeah.
Today, if M-Pesa goes down, what happens?
Yeah.
What happens?
Like you're messed up. Like you could be
sure.
You could be paying a hospital bill for your kid to whatever, and you just
it's life. It's like carrying everyone right now.
Critical infrastructure.
And I'm sure even CBK wants an alternative, not necessarily a competitor. We are not looking at competition. We are looking at alternative, building an alternative to M-Pesa. If you look at the ride-hailing apps, you have Little, you have Bolt. Uber, you have Bolt. Yeah. Now, CBK has done its job. They've licensed more than 5. What are the 5 doing?
Not much.
Nobody has stopped you from recruiting 5 people. And it can be done. But it can only be done. Do we have developers in Kenya? Good ones?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
But who is willing? And this is the problem. Are we willing to sit down and make a decision as boards across these licensed people, companies, and say, let us register 500,000 people in 2 years? But what do you require to do that particular registration? Samora, you'll bear with me that Kenyan developers are able to build an electronic value ecosystem. Now, this is where I keep saying we must train. We have tech, but tech only connect through APIs to the M-Pesa ecosystem. Do they understand the business withdrawal of funds? Because what I've seen mostly is mirroring. Most of the tech, they mirror the pay bill. What happens when M-Pesa goes down and you're mirroring that pay bill? You're not even building an API that does a business withdrawal of funds to fund your trust. CBK has done its job. They've given you the license to trade. Where is your trust? there is a bit of mediocrity around the platforms that we are building.
Yeah.
These platforms we've not built properly, because you cannot tell me, Samora, it's about the money. It's about what we want to do. You cannot have a platform that does not do proper business withdrawal of funds. Any tech from JQuat, even a fresh one, would be able to build a console that does control account, business withdrawal funds, moves the money to your trust account away from NCBA, loads the money and loads an agency network. We don't do that. What do? We build a pipe. Daraja, we have a pay bill.
Yeah.
We will never have an alternative. Are we having an alternative to M-Pesa? Yeah.
But one would argue, I mean, just for that, like one would argue that, okay, assume you understand all this complexity of building business withdrawal of funds. At the end of the day, the market seems to be gone. You know, like M-Pesa has taken the cake, right? So even if you do all this hard work, what market is there to be had?
More than ever, Kenyans are ready for an alternative.
And you can see like Airtel Money numbers going up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, the question is, how ready is their platform? Customer care. How quick? What's your agency flow? I've just outlined for you the single agency hierarchy, the aggregator model, the super agent. We've not even talked about super agent because now Ali in Kisii for Safaricom, there's a super agency structure. They don't have to do the clockwise movement of funds where they have to go to NCBA bank cash. They can literally go to the next door, Total, Kenya. Nakumat was the first super agent. Super agency is about liquidity, where you're converting 100,000 for this agent. Because what would happen is that the flow of funds, you see there's the clockwise, the creation and the destruction of electronic value. So that process would delay the money. So if you're waiting outside PEP intermediaries in Kisumu, you have to wait for PEP's papers to be signed. They are taken to NCBA, and then the money is moved to PEP's Kisumu office. Somebody goes to the bank, maybe Equity, and removes the money, brings the money so that PEP can continue. Now that story has been cut off by Safaricom. They learn and they act fast. Super agent, right next door. Go pick the money. Use the terminal. They've even thought about giving an extra terminal. This phone continues, and we can see 50,000 is what we have. So you take the extra float, you run to the next door, super agent, cash it out, come back. You already have float to keep the business going. So what I know, Samora, and I've always been asked this question, is the market gone? Kenyans are different. Kenyans will embrace you. Who has given? Among the eight, are they eight? Extra e-money issuers. Which one have you seen?
I haven't heard of any of them.
Where do they get money to do buses and do outdoor advertising? Did you see what M-Pesa used? Did you ever see outdoor advertising above the line? It was T-shirts.
It was guerrilla marketing.
You cannot tell me that they don't have... In fact, now, T-shirts from China in a month, you have them at one bob. Probably. Branding... Everybody in downtown is branding for you. You don't need fancy T-shirts. Safaricom only had one advert. Mambo ni ya kisasa. So when you say the market has gone, more than ever, the market is ready. You don't have to go through what we went through. It's so easy to tell someone, it's an app.
People are
download our app.
Let
me give you a business model. Pay 200 shillings. Send as much money as you want. Because looking at the ARPU of the most successful is probably 300 to 400 average revenue per user per month. Come in and say, I won't do 300, I won't do 400, I'll do 300. Give me 300. Count that as your ARPU.
That's like $1.50.
Wouldn't you pay 300 and send money for free? It's all... Nobody has given us the platform that's reliable.
And so, now that you say that, like, the central bank is, I think they've been looking at building like a like the equivalent of NIBS or UPI, like a payments pipe that people can plug into. So number one, what are your thoughts on that? But even before that, what was very clear is that, I mean, they'll just give you the basic pipes, right?
Yeah.
And that's just like a simple payment switch. But on top of that, if you're to actually build a consumer or an SME proposition, you'll still have to understand this entire, flow of funds, right? And I think, what I'm getting from this is that even if they build a pipe, it's not automatic that
it
all
will
this
work.
kind of innovation
will ride on it.
Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Central Bank is seeing from the top. They can clearly see the numbers. They know where the money is going. They know they're the top watchdog.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at Nigeria, okay, and you look at Kenya, Central Bank is run by bankers. When we went to Nigeria, they said they are going to give mobile money licenses to banks only in the beginning. This business is better run by either entrepreneurs or the telco.
Yeah.
A banker does not know how to go and look. You see what they deployed in Nigeria? POS. So, in their mind, in Nigeria, I'll give you simply, you say, give me your account number.
Yeah.
Samora, I want to send you 1 million now. Give me your account number. Do you know your account number? Okay. Samora, I want to send you 50,000. Give me your mobile number.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
you don't need any other explanation.
Yeah. And even I remember running such a, because I was running a bank at some point.
Yeah.
We had like a mobile money thing, and telcos were our competitors. And that it became so clear to me, like that account number, phone number thing. Because like, even if you want to send, let's say, your mom money, you know your mom's number offhand.
Correct.
So like, if you're in an emergency, you've not saved your number, it's like, can you give me so I can send my mom some cash?
Correct.
You know your mom's number offhand. But there's no way on earth you'd know your mom's account number offhand.
Yeah.
Right?
Nigeria was quite frustrating. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And do you think like because they're, the thing about Nigeria is that they've got massive fintechs, right? But when I was in Lagos, the experience of digital money in Lagos is not as good as it is here, right? In the sense that you're still looking for ATMs.
Correct.
You're still not sure whether you'll get your money on
Correct.
the ATM.
Correct.
Like, you're still thinking about this card, if it's whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if you travel to Kenya as a foreigner and you get an M-Pesa SIM from the airport,
you're
immediately plugged into the economy.
Correct.
Right?
You make your calls.
So it's like, I look at it and I say they've chosen that model, like a bank-led model. It's come at the cost of building an M-Pesa type product, because if they had like proper regulations, I think an MTN would really thrive there.
Correct.
An MTN Momo.
Yeah.
But what they've sacrificed, what they've obtained on the other hand, is that they don't have like a single company dominating the entire space.
Correct.
What do you think about that trade-off?
I think the two, Nigeria has been very successful in terms of payments. When you talk about payments, here, payments, there's a gap. And we need to see it that way. But going back, I'll come back to payments versus mobile money, although it's also payments. Yeah. If you look at us, M-Pesa, same dynamics, everything, same. Even now, if you look at people like Glow in Nigeria, they've been given PSB licenses, Payment Service Bank. Susie and the team, the Vodafone team, you just have to give credit to the Kenyan team. Susie had a team coming from Vodafone. What happened here? It's the team. We carried the vision to the ground. We broke fingers. We did it. We made sure that we came back with 100 registered customers.
Yeah.
Susie went with the same to our brothers in South Africa. What happened to?
Nothing happened.
There is also the aspect of you are the chef. You have the platform, you have the technology, you have everything right. Who is going to take this to the people? And how is this going to be taken to the people? There is no time Susie will come and do the road shows. So it's the people, the team. We end up talking too much in the boardroom.
And the on-ground execution.
We fear the sun.
Yeah.
And this is where the problem is. MTN now has a license. But what do? We want to do social media adverts. I come from meetings where social media is the, instead of the tech going right, sometimes you find most of the licensed e-money licensees, their own staff don't use their own e-money. Because the first thing Safaricom did was to turn the staff into customers. And so we are really missing, we are not looking at the details.
And the on-ground execution, because interestingly enough, now in South Africa, we are starting to see MTN Momo now actually gain scale. Right?
But who is there?
Yeah.
Who is there on the ground? Top Image.
They're in South Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
MTN, the entire Africa, you'll see Top Image. There is that aspect of
on-ground
and I'm not paid by Top Image. It's just saying the way it is. If you look at that, it's Jennifer doing Abidjan, doing all the momos for MTN. So there's something about taking that technology, and it has to be good technology.
Yeah.
Now in Kenya, we have a combination of some leaking tech and bad execution, and we're expecting to give Kenyans an alternative with that. If you take Bolt, for example, it's the same experience. Close, but you can see tech. Drivers will move to other ride-hailing apps. Where do they end up back? Uber. Correct? Now, if you look at the Kenya, let me now go back to the Nigeria comparison that you asked about, and the Kenyan one. In Kenya, it starts from the licensing. CBK, if you're a PSP e-money issuer, if you look at the license that you get the right to issue, to store, send, and facilitate mobile money transactions. You also get the right to process merchant payments. So it gives you the payment option. Now, if you look at M-Pesa, issue. They started issuing, and the issue took over. Because even banks today, it's very sad, and I speak to the bankers sometimes, and I ask them, it does not pain you to take all your money every morning and put it in NCBA or KCB because they behave like agents, so that you can be able to terminate, so that when Catherine takes her phone and accesses mobile banking is a pipe. I'm not a coder, but whatever you call it. It's a pipe that drains the banks every day. But then in the boardroom, what do we discuss? We discuss the money coming in from the buy goods. When money comes into the bank through buy goods, where does it terminate to? It doesn't even sleep there. It moves back into the M-Pesa ecosystem. Now, today you're paid your salary into the bank. Most Kenyans, correct? I'm coming to that. I'm coming to the payment in Kenya and the mobile money. Once you paid your salary today, which bank? Let's assume any bank. What do? You immediately pull the money
to your M-Pesa.
Why does M-Pesa report billions in profit? Because that pool will probably give the bank 50 bob, one transaction. Now, we say the ARPU for M-Pesa is between 300 and 400 per person in Kenya on average. 400 times 20 million.
It's a lot of money.
The bank got one transaction. M-Pesa got 15. On average, 20. And banks still don't see it.
What's the alternative?
To move PesaLink into a wallet for banks. So there's no crossover. And that gives alternative, because if I have a PesaLink app, all right, then their money does not leave the banking ecosystem. And that's the most beautiful platform for transactions today.
Yeah.
It's PesaLink.
But I think the problem there is that from my experience and even a past guest, I think Kamal was here, and one of the challenges is just coordination, right? Everyone looks at it from my perspective.
They're leaking.
Like someone comes, Bank A comes and says, oh, but, what about my customers? That's why like shared infrastructure amongst banks in Kenya is such a problem. Think even about like credit data, right? And always say like, think about lifting all the boats. And when you lift all the boats, even your boat will go up.
Correct.
Right? But like credit data, when you ask for credit data, some banks don't share all the information about some customers, right? So you find that even things like supply chain finance are not taking off because someone's like, I don't know if Catherine didn't pay. There's some laws.
And there's information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas if they did that, then all the, even your bank would benefit.
Correct.
And so I think, that's a very unique insight around having some kind of shared wallet infrastructure through PesaLink, building like, through like a consortia, building now the merchant network around PesaLink.
Correct.
Such that, you can start making the payments.
Look,
and even if you're charging, let's say, a transaction costs 100 bob on M-Pesa, let's say a pay bill transaction, even if you go 50,
correct.
Whereas you'd have lost, you'll now gain 50 times 10 transactions for one of your clients, whereas in the past, you're only making 50 for one transaction coming out, per month. So you're 10xing your revenue on a monthly basis, even though you're half the price of M-Pesa.
Correct. Truth be told, we are blinded by the success of M-Pesa. It's my baby. It's one of things that I'm really, really proud of. But what's the future?
The thing, Catherine, one thing I've always said is that the problem with M-Pesa is that, first of all, it's a fantastic product.
Beautiful.
But like 20 years on, we need to have another story.
I'm trying to build that story.
You can't live off stories like
exactly.
You become that old guy who's talking about what I used to do in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you're in your 50s now. Like, what's going on with your life, And I think
so. I pick my call and I'm talking about, and that's why when I was working with Chris Kirubi, we were building the biggest and the best platform, and that man was a visionary, because we realized we needed an alternative, not a competitive. Like I said, we don't compete with M-Pesa. We said Ronaldo can play, Messi can play, anyone can play.
Yeah.
It's a big field. If you're making 65 billion, let me make 5 billion. That's good enough for me. Yeah. If you have 24 million customers, let me have 1 million. I'm not even looking at 24. But then, have you seen, there are new success stories in Kenya. If you look, like I said, if you look at a PSP, Safaricom, issue, store, send, facilitate merchant payments. Viewtech, the same. Now go to Cellulant. Look at PesaPal. What do you see? Really there is no issue.
Yeah.
Don't even do it in Kenya. Zanzibar is the top processor. Is doing amazing. Go to any eatery in Kenya now and see the takeover. How he does it. Everyone needs to study PesaPal.
Can you help me get him on the show?
We need to look for Augusta. The book that comes to give you the bill is PesaPal.
Yeah.
The terminal. And the banks are sleeping on that side. The e-money has already gone. All right? All their money is terminating to M-Pesa. What we do is we actually integrate to M-Pesa instead of building our own, even small wallet as a bank, so that when people receive their salaries, they can still do the things that they do on M-Pesa. And who is coming in? Loop.
Yeah.
Loop is doing fantastic.
And I think
now the only thing they don't have, and I keep calling these people, I'm trying to get this narrative out there. Why haven't you applied for an upgrade of e-money issuance? Why aren't you issuing e-money? Why am I pulling money all the time from one issuer?
Maybe knowing what they do, maybe they need to go back to whoever built their platforms and build this business withdrawal. They need to do all that hard work.
You have to have an e-money ecosystem.
Yeah.
Most of the platforms that I've seen, they're fantastic at processing. And that's where Nigeria came in. Nigerians are perfect in terms of processing. Now remember, like I said, issue, send, store. We don't have that in Nigeria. What we have is pipe. Move your money account to account, account to account. That one, or pay for bills, pay merchant, like that. In Kenya, it's, I think, because we like having money, e-money, we were blinded completely by the success. Even M-Pesa itself should excel. What stops M-Pesa from giving POS? If you go to CBK, they have the right to process merchant payments. Are they?
So they can,
are they?
They can effectively
process.
One thing I've always said in the back of my head, you shouldn't have a view about how people pay. If you're M-Pesa, you already have these merchants, right? You can give them a POS and say, accept Visa and MasterCard payments, accept all this type of payments, find a way, it's just extra revenue, right? Why aren't they doing that?
Because they miss, every MSME misses out on the credit card payments. So the credit card payments are channeling through PesaPal now and any other bank that is still surviving. But any other merchant, go to any merchant, go to a coffee store, coffee house. It's PesaPal.
Yeah.
Just be keen on it and see. It's PesaPal. And I'm happy about that because is where people are sleeping is moving.
And, an interesting fact, I was speaking to someone who runs payments for one of the largest global companies. So specifically, it's Netflix. I think 20% of the payments that they receive from Kenya come from the Visa card issued on your M-Pesa, right? And I found that quite interesting, right?
It's good.
And I think there's a role there where now I think M-Pesa now starts moving beyond some of
beyond. It's not moved beyond, correct? Yeah.
And for instance, like for me, I have a credit card and I love my credit card, right? The thing I love about my credit card is that, first of all, if I pay on time, the fees are not that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It gives me discretion. If I want something now, I can get it. Of course, this financial discipline.
Discipline, yes.
But there's a universe where Safaricom says, okay, for some of these people, they can actually get credit cards, right? And I can actually have a partner.
Correct, they have the data.
With whatever. And say, here's your card, even if it's virtual. With tokenization now, someone can flash their phone and pay for the...
Everybody's doing it from abroad. Everyone from London just taps their phone.
There's so much to be done.
There's a lot to be done. But I think, again, just like the Safaricom dealers back then, the ugali is so big now on the issuance that it also blinds us in terms of how there's billions sitting in the trust account, there's billions circulating. Sometimes you don't tend to look beyond that. So that's where Loop and PesaPal and PesaLink, they're really moving. But I think a lot needs to be done to tie that up to give an alternative to M-Pesa. But if you look at one of the evolution that we had that has died down is Kenyans also don't go to the ATM anymore. But other countries can actually adopt the ATM withdrawal. One of the funny stories is that when we started ATM withdrawals via M-Pesa, people put the SIM card inside the machine. Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's swallowed.
There is a lot of stories on M-Pesa. People would put insert your SIM card.
Yeah.
Others would just carry their SIM card, go home. It's M-Pesa has been amazing, really. And it's an old story.
Yeah.
We need a new story.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, we've talked for so long. I think just to as we are wrapping up, what do you want guys to know, Catherine? What kind of business are you looking for? How can you help people? How can they reach out?
Yeah. Currently, I'm happy where I am because I've moved from mobile money. as well as doing the PSPs for mobile money, e-money issuer. I also offer services for regulatory. So I also offer PSP, the one with payment gateways. So I do end-to-end for regulatory for PSPs. I also do money remittance licenses, international money transfer licenses. I also DCPs, microfinance banks. And apart from that, I do end-to-end implementation and deployment, and then also training. So we offer a lot of training in terms of system value movement. So system value movement is understanding all these things we are talking about. When you talk about PesaLink, when you talk about Loop, when you talk about M-Pesa, integrations and all that. So we have a whole team, 3-day training that anyone can come and understand. We also offer in-house. So we can actually come to your office, do gap analysis and help you where you're stuck. Like the 8 e-money issuers should actually talk to us. We helped some to get the license, but now once you get the license, you need to look back for us so that we're able to move you to the next implementation and deployment. We're very good at distribution networks, the most scary part for any fintech.
One of the most important.
We set up the entire M-Pesa agency network. So we know these people. We could call them tomorrow if you have
got something new.
But we will only come if you have a proper platform. So we have a tech team, we have a legal team, we have a strategy team. And like I said, we just finished Tanzania Pesa for the strategy. So we do end to end. So if anyone wants to find us, we're in Nairobi. We are at Jetro Chambers, 2nd floor. And we are on LinkedIn. You can find me, Redant or Catherine. I'm very easily reachable.
And you've got amazing posts. Like I really enjoy your posts.
I hardly post actually.
But when you post, it's really valuable.
And finding, having these conversations are really enriching for us. And I hope that this empowers someone. I want to see better platforms. I want to see Kenyans embracing other types of payments. I'm very passionate about mobile money, mobile payments, and we are open to talk. We like to help. We are Untold.
No, thanks. Hopefully this really drives business. For me, it's been such an eye-opener. Like there's so much I didn't know, and I consider myself very knowledgeable on fintech, but there's so much I've learned today. And just thank you. This has been exceptional. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And I can see a part 2 coming soon. So I'll keep you posted.
We're here to talk about the trips to Mombasa.
There's definitely
and activations. I think we just need to break this into different silos and just help. We like hand holding.
So cheers. Asante.
Thank you so much, Samora. It's been such a pleasure.
I told you to just flow.
It's amazing. You're amazing. You're a good listener.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate being here.